So without further ado, let's begin with the first question for Mr. Sagar from CTO of RinggitPay. So Mr. Sagar, how does RinggitPay tailor its solution to meet the unique needs and requirements of various travel businesses, from small agencies to large enterprise, ensuring adaptability and effectiveness for all?
Digital payments is nothing new. So we do payments on daily basis using digital channels. So we go to on-store, we make purchases on the store, we make payments using contactless channels, we use card, we use QR payments these days. But when we have to collect payment using digital channels, the primary complication comes because it looks very sophisticated to us. In some ways, like if we have to just use a virtual terminal to collect the payment, it's somewhat okay because the banks provide the service. But when we have to collect payment from distant users, where the user is only available through messaging channels, then it looks a little complicated. We mostly fall back to the traditional bank transfer routines or telegraphic transfer. So that is when we have all the additional payment administration workloads. So we started from the shoes of service sector. We imagined their problem. That's how we designed RinggitPay as a solution. Because by the time we entered into the market, the e-commerce was already transformed into a complete digitization. Every e-commerce products today we purchase in online channels. It has been there for a long time already. The real-time payments on the store has just been transformed after the COVID, and recently the traction has been fast. The service sector is still underserved, right? So the customers need to be sent an instant invoice. They can just make the payment. They should be able to make the payment just from the invoice by clicking a link. And so the receipt has to be sent back to the customers immediately, or sometimes it is not even the customer, it is the dealer. So the amount is considerably a huge amount, so the reconciliation has to happen immediately, and then the settlement has to happen as soon as possible. There should be reasonable transparency and confidence over these transactions, right? So that's where we started thinking, and then we started working with major Malaysian banks, and RHP was the first partner we started with, and then we designed our solution to address specific needs of service sector. Initially we started working with education sector because there the consumers are always the students, kids. They are not making the payment. The payers are always the parents who need not have to come to the school for any reason. But in most kindergartens, if you see, they make the parents travel to the place just to make the payment, or they have to do bank transfer, and then there is an additional added payment administration effort. So that way, when we first designed it as API first, and then it was okay for big players, but when it comes to SMEs, they do not have the IT expertise to build their own digital presence and then integrate to the payment gateways and so on. So they needed a simple user interface with which they can manage all the payment collection so that it happens seamless to them. So that's where we created our biller portal, which can just help you in creating invoices, sending it to messaging channels to your payers. It could be dealers or customers. You can collect the payment immediately, send the receipt to them. So there is a reasonable transparency in that. And then you can also see the settlement status. You can see what is the billing for you. You can do all the reconciliations within the portal itself. So it makes it very transparent and simple for you to manage. So after this, we had a lot of feedbacks coming through on what additional features they need. They wanted partial payment because sometimes for the invoices, the payments do not happen in one shot. It happens part by part. So they should be able to see how much payment is made on the invoice, what is the percentage of payment made, and then they do some part of the service, and then they ask for the next payment on the same invoice. And these kind of features we added up. And we are continuously working with the existing customers and understanding the requirements and adding more features into our products. So that's how we came into the smart reminder process also. So especially with schools and in due payment management, even in the travel industry, when you send invoice, you often have to remind further payments on the invoice. Let's say if it is a partial payment that has happened, the next due has to be reminded to the payer. And that too, with one reminder, it may not happen. As Yuvraj was saying, you may have to continuously remind them. So if it is automated, your effort is also meaningful, and then the customer will also not be annoyed because it is only the system sending you reminders. And from the reminder itself, you can just click and make the payment. And then we integrated WhatsApp to it, so that the common customer base that we handle today are all available in WhatsApp, not even in the email. Most of the emails go to junk. So WhatsApp is the most effective channel to reach out to a customer or a dealer, to any person today. So that's how we made it addressable to all the players in the market.
So thank you, Mr. Sagar. So for explaining about this tailor-made solution for travel industry.